So welcome again after the break to our first paper session. And in this session, we will get presented and discuss two papers. So the first one will be presented by Neeru Dubey. She is a senior research fellow at the Indian Institute of Technology. And the paper that she will present us is called WikiGaze, gaze-based personalized summarization of Wikipedia reading session.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank for giving me the opportunity of presenting my work in front of you all. So the paper which I'm going to discuss today is titled WikiGaze, which is gaze-based personalized summarization of Wikipedia reading session. So in this talk, I'm going to talk a lot about Wikipedia. So let me just briefly discuss how Wikipedia works and how it allows open content editing and access. So we all know anybody can go and read any article of Wikipedia and we can modify the content, of course, if it's not a restricted article. So today's scenario, the purpose for which Wikipedia is mainly used is just as a quick reference tool. And what do I mean by a quick reference tool? I mean, we visit Wikipedia to just take a glance at the factoid which we are interested in, and then either we leave the Wikipedia ecosystem or we click on any of the wiki links embedded and we go and visit a subsequent article and we follow the same procedure thereafter again. So the purpose of Wikipedia was not to develop big articles and overload readers with a lot of information. So this has resulted in a different kind of problem altogether. So the size of Wikipedia has increased exponentially over the past few years since its conception, and currently in English language alone, there are more than 6 million unique articles, which is definitely an information overload for readers. We don't know which article to visit, and even if we find the correct article, we don't know which portion we want to read to get the correct factoid. So how can we tackle this information overload problem? So the proposed solution is to present user with the synopsis of an article in which current reader is interested in. So this is an effective solution, but it again raises few other concerns, like how can we customize the synopsis, and then how do we know that a user is interested in this content particularly. This is the effective solution which I propose. I propose to summarize the content according to a user's need. So how to summarize and what all technique I'm using to select the salient content that I'll discuss in the coming presentation. So first of all, let me explain what do I mean by a summary of Wikipedia article. Wikipedia article contains a variety of factoids, and then they are long because each individual has a different set of desires. They have different set of interest. And it's not possible to customize article as per user's desire. So, but we can always customize the summary according to a user's desire, and then we can present that summary to a user. So, a summary contains all the essential information. They should not contain redundant examples or details, and then they should refer to the keynote. Key points should be referred in a summary. So these points should be considered while we create a summary. And why should we focus on a personalized summary? Because they captures the individual's perspective. And then in many researches in past, it has been observed that users are more interested in personalized content when shown to them. So that's why I propose to create a personalized summary of Wikipedia articles to users to solve the information overload problem. Now, these are the relevant literatures previously performed in this field. They focus on how can we summarize multiple documents and how Wikipedia summarization has been performed in past, and some more related literature which I'll again mention in my upcoming talk further. So let me quickly jump to what is the proposed approach. So I propose to summarize document content based on based on reading pattern of a reader of Wikipedia. So how to analyze the reading pattern? So I'm proposing to use eye gaze of readers. So while a user is reading an article, if a user is more focused on a particular section, we assume that user is more interested to read that section and not something where he has not yet gazed at. So we are proposing to extract that section and then create a summary. Now, as I previously mentioned, in Wikipedia ecosystem, when we visit an article, we either tend to just quickly look at a factoid and then leave Wikipedia ecosystem, or we can further dig deep in an article by clicking on any of the wiki link and then further perform reading in the referred article, and then read that article, or again perform either leaving Wikipedia or clicking on any other wiki link. So while we read Wikipedia articles, we tend to look at the factoids in which we are interested in. This simple approach we are utilizing and extracting sentences as per users' interest. This is the simple approach which we are utilizing here. So as per the gaze information, we are extracting the sentences and then preparing summaries. So here I should mention the process flow later. So this is the multi-document summarization system. So here we can see that suppose user is currently reading an reading article titled ABC. In this, he clicked on some of the wiki link with title XYZ, which again refers to another article. He performs the reading, then click on another wiki link, PQR, then another wiki link article gets popped up, and then he performs reading there. So this is the reading session. Then in this reading session, we perform the eye gaze tracking of user. Then comes the text processing phase, in which users, the system extract the sentences based on the eye gaze density on different sentences. So here we can see that the yellow sentences are more focused on, and thus we extract those sentences here. To perform the text processing of those sentences, we perform cleaning, extraction, removal of redundant sentences, and then selection of the most focused sentences based on the heat map. All those filtering processes are done here in text processing phase. And then we combine the different text extracts to perform a consolidated summary of the Wikipedia reading session for a particular user. And in this consolidated summary, again, we perform filtering operation for the compression of the summary based on TF-IDF ranking of the sentences. So this is the overall flow of the multi-document summarization approach based on eye gaze pattern of Wikipedia readers. So this is a brief description of the eye gaze tracker which I'm using. So I have actually created, I have actually ensembled 2 different eye gaze trackers to make the system OS independent, operating system independent. So the 3 most widely used platforms are Linux, Mac, and Windows. So luckily I was able to find CVC eye tracker and NetGazer. They both have OpenGazer as their base eye tracker, and then they are targeted for different operating systems. And they both provide very good accuracy. So I was able to develop an ensemble eye tracker, which was operating system independent. So this is the eye tracker detail. And then in this slide, we can see a sample in which eye gaze points have been distributed on a Wikipedia frame. So as we read an article, in whichever frame we are currently reading at, all the eye gaze points are being plotted. All the circles are eye gaze points. So based on the density, we create this heat map and we extract all the focus sentences. So in this, we can see that this paragraph is completely extracted. Here, these sentences will be extracted. Based on the thresholding, we can again change which sentences and how many sentences we want to extract. We can either extract only the highly focused focus sentences, which based on the gaze density, or we can further increase the threshold. We can reduce the threshold to extract more sentences, depends on the parameter tuning. So this is the heat map, which shows text extraction. And this is the application screen which we have created. So the first one is the main screen, welcome screen. And then this is the calibration screen. Of course, the users are required to perform calibration before performing reading session, because each time a user is performing reading session, their physical distance from the monitor will vary, the system in which they are preparing summary will vary, and then from user to user, their facial features will vary. So all these factors impact the eye gaze tracker's performance. That's why we need to perform calibration before each reading session. It just takes a few seconds to perform calibration. Only 14 points will be shown on screen one by one for 1 second, and we have to follow these points like this to calibrate the system according to current reading scenario. And then post reading session, this is the just a progress bar to show users that something is happening in the background. We are extracting text and removing redundancy, cleaning the text and all. And then finally, a summary of your reading session will be presented to a user, of course, with an option to save it for further reading. So these all are the main screens application of screens of application which we have developed. So let me now discuss the experimentation which we have performed and what are the results of it. So the data set which we have, let me discuss the data set collection procedure first. So the Wikipedia articles with which we started the reading session were in the category of 2019 top 50 reports. So we targeted this article just because they were the top read ones, and then they were more engaging for readers, and readers were more interested to read any of those articles. That's why I have selected this category. And we were for participants, we mostly targeted on students. They were ranging from age group 19 to 31. They all were either graduate or postgraduate students with different background, of course, so that they will choose different kind of articles, and we'll be able to capture the crowd reading behavior in Wikipedia. So total 50 individuals were participating in this process, and they all had normal visual acuity. They were not supposed to have squinted eyes, or proper head motion was required to perform the reading. So, and then the summaries which we were able to collect after the data collection process was 228. And with each reading session, we asked the readers to perform, to manually create a summary of the reading session, so that we can compare the summaries, the automatic summaries with the manual summaries. And the system on which we ran all the experiments was NVIDIA GeForce with the 1080 Ti GPU. Okay, so these are the features of the summaries and their average values. The average compression rate over all the summaries which we collected was only 18%. That is, in each reading session, almost on average, 4 Wikipedia articles were being visited, and only 18% of the content was being read by individuals. So in this, I should mention that some readers were reading articles very deeply. They were taking a lot of time to read articles, but most of the readers were just skimming the article. So these are the average values across all the across the entire data set. So the reading session and the summary creation time. So it starts right from the start, clicking on the start button, summarize button, the application screen, and it stops when we present summary to the reader. And the end-to-end time taken was 6 minutes only. It creates the reading time, calibration, summary creation, everything. So it was only 6 minutes per reading session. And then the average user ranking was above 80%, above 80 out of 100, the average value. So these are the features of the summaries on the data set. And then, yeah, so user satisfaction rating was received with the standard deviation of 12.09. So, which was quite encouraging for me because most of the readers were, so this is the distribution again. So most of the readers were more than 50% of the readers were they gave more than 80 user rating for the summaries which they got after their reading session. So this distribution shows only 2% in 50 to 60, 2% in 40 to 50, because sometimes the calibration was not performed properly, so they were not able to get proper data in which where they were reading. The eye tracker will not work well if we don't perform the calibration well. We have to keep our eyes wide open. We should not move a lot. Among all these restrictions, this is the user distribution rating which we performed, which we got after on the data set. And this is the statistics of the Rogven and Mover score for the summaries. So we calculated the ROG score using a different technique. So this was computed with respect to the manual summaries by seeing how many sentences are common in the manual summary and then the automated summary. So this was the formula used to calculate the precision recall and F measures. And then for mover score, we just used a script to calculate the mover score. So these are the average values. We can see the performance is quite good here. And the more it is closer to 1, the better they are. So we can clearly see they are good. And then the comparison with the other extractive models was also performed. So these are some of the famous extractive models. They used graph-based techniques or proper feature selection techniques to extract summaries. So for this comparison, we used ROG-L, ROG-1, and ROG-2 measures. So here also we can see only for some basic. In case of RL, the accuracy was better, but other than that, our method was performing good because of again these comparisons were being performed with the manual summary, and we should note here that the proposed method, it actually extracts sentences which we are reading, and the manual summary will also contain sentences which we read. So that's why this high similarity is there. And yeah, so and after that we also performed comparison with other multi-document summarization data sets of Wikipedia. So our technique is also multi-document summarization because we are summarizing multiple articles being read in a Wikipedia reading session. So we cross-checked its performance with different data sets. So again, the comparison was performed between the summaries reported there. In those data sets, they also contained a manual summary and then the automated summary which we create for those data sets. So for this, we got 20 volunteer participants. They agreed to read the articles mentioned in this data set to generate their summaries. So for those 20 volunteers, I have reported the recall, precision, F measure, and mover scores. So so WikiHow, GameWikisum, WCEP, all these are quite famous Wikipedia multi-document summarization data sets, and these are the comparison results with the proposed approach. After this talk, there might be some thoughts in your mind like, why should we create multi-document summarization of Wikipedia articles? We just want to visit Wikipedia, read 1 or 2 sentences, and then just come out. Why should we put in efforts to create summary of our reading session? And what good does it do to the research community? Why should we bother so much about summarizing an article? So let me present to you some of the applications. But yeah, I want to mention here that for these applications to work, we need the individuals to share their summaries. And I think users should not hesitate in sharing their summaries, because Wikipedia, what they are reading in Wikipedia will be shared anonymously to us. So, and we actually performed, I'm actually working on few of the applications which I've mentioned here, and I did not see any hesitant participant who did not want to share their summaries to us, because of the fact that their summaries were being shared anonymously. So they shared their summaries, and then we were able to perform some crowdsourced behavior of participants in Wikipedia. So let me present to you some of the possible applications of this work. So the first application is suppose a content is repeatedly appearing in a lot of summaries. So what is the feature of that particular content? Why many people are reading it? And being an editor, can we get some insight, like what should be the feature of the content which I put in an article, so that more it will get more viewership, more readers will come and read my content. So analyzing the feature of a particular text which appears in a lot of summaries is one of the research questions which can be pursued. And other one is creation of leaderboard. So yes, as I mentioned, editors want to it will be a very good incentive for Wikipedia editors to appear high, if they get a leaderboard based on viewership of their content. And suppose I contribute something in an article, and I get to know that my article is being referred by X number of readers, and my friend has also contributed, and she gets to know that okay, hers has been referred by Y number of users, and so we do get that competitive behavior, that okay, hers is more or mine is more. So if we somehow create this leaderboard to show how much readers and editors content has been referred by users, and then give points according to that, and rank them accordingly, then it will it will encourage editors to contribute more in the system, to work on more on their facts, and then to include proper citations. So it's like a cycle thing. So on this problem also, I am currently working, and based on the experiments being performed till now, I can say that it is a very good incentive for editors to contribute more in the Wikipedia ecosystem. And then another possible application is to judge the contribution of masses and classes in Wikipedia ecosystem. So on this field, many research papers have been published to judge whether classes contribution is more in Wikipedia or masses contribution is more. So suppose an article is there, and that article has been written by has been mostly written by a small set of editors. So that small set of editors is called classes. They are experts in the system. Suppose I know a lot about personalized summarization, and I go and write an article on personalized summarization. Most of the article will be written by me, and some other editors might come in just to do grammatical changes or rearrange the sentences or just few additions here and there. So those editors will be called masses. So to judge whose contribution is more, so some researches shows that classes are more important for the Wikipedia ecosystem to survive, because we need experts to give valid information in the system. And some says no, Wikipedia is open content, open editing, so masses are more important. Anybody should go and just do something. That's how Wikipedia survives. So to judge whose contribution readers are actually looking at, so based on this, we can judge somehow that whose contribution is more important, either masses or classes. So this is also a possible research questions. Yeah, and the last one which I would like to discuss here is to differentiate between different categories of articles based on a collective reading pattern of different readers. So these are different readers reading patterns, and Wikipedia contains total 6 types of different articles: featured articles, good articles, B, C, start and stop articles on degrading level of qualities. So can we judge and classify category of an article based on collective reading pattern of its users? So is it possible? Do we read featured articles more focused in a more focused way, or is it not the case? We just came through that also. So this is also a very interesting research questions, which is possible using the summaries which we gather from different individuals in the system. Yeah, so that was the talk. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, I'm open to questions.
Thank you very much, Niro, for this interesting presentation. So we have time for a few questions. If you have any question, just raise your hand either in the system or in the video, or write something into the chat as you prefer. Mark.
I just wondered, when you were talking about dashboards, if there isn't a danger that what you're actually doing is to incentivize people to write text in a manner that's more likely to be read. Yes. Because we can't, presumably the eye tracking doesn't tell you whether people are reading something because it's informative or they don't agree with it. That it's just something they're rereading. So we don't know whether they're reading good stuff or bad stuff. So for instance, you might be writing stuff that isn't actually any good, but people read it, perhaps out of sheer amazement, and that will go to the top of the leaderboard, which would actually give you a false positive.
Yes, that's a very nice question. And I have tried to answer this question in my research also, which I'm currently pursuing. So when we read an art content, there are two possibilities, as you mentioned. Either we are actually interested to read that, or it can be difficult to understand and we don't completely agree with it. That's why we are doubtful and we are just trying to read it over and over again. So it will increase the gaze point density at that content. You are completely right here. But we have gone to that content, we have read it, and we have not edited it. If we combine all these pieces together, if we don't agree with that content and we are an active reader, we will perform editing in Wikipedia ecosystem, which is again good for Wikipedia. And if we are reading an article, particular content, and we are actually interested to read it, it's good. It's again favorable to the solution which I'm proposing. Okay, that editor should be ranked higher. And we have gone to that content and we are trying to understand it. Even if it is difficult for us to understand, we are trying to understand it. It means again that we are interested in that particular content. So using all these questions, I finally concluded like, okay, this is a good approach to rank editors.
Well, thank you. And thank you for a very interesting talk.
Thank you so much.
So great. So are there any other questions? Klaus?
I have a quick question too. Coming from a hypertext perspective, I'm wondering whether we could actually use this eye tracking feature to compute basically implicit links between Wikipedia documents. So I'm reading a document in Wikipedia, I'm heading up for the next one, and I'm heading to the next one. So actually, you know, just capturing my reading sequence could build up a trail of documents that could be stored and that could be proposed to other readers. Did you think about that too?
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear this from you because I have a set of research questions in mind, and it is among that also. So hearing it from you actually gives me more assurance that what I'm thinking is in right direction. Yes, so I'm also working on identifying what is the information search path of different readers in Wikipedia ecosystem. So suppose most of the readers, they start by reading the introduction. It has been observed in different researchers. So we click on any of the wiki links appearing introduction part. We go to that and then again follow that same path. So it actually shows reading behavior of different individuals in Wikipedia, and then it also captures the information search path of individuals. And then this recommendation part, which you have mentioned, is also a good approach to work on. So yeah, this recommendation actually I did not think of. So are you, sorry for asking again. So are you talking about recommending the search path to other users?
Yes, in principle, yes. Recommending a link from the articles. Many people, the path basically. Many people follow from article to article. So if the system computes that, you could recommend this path, this computed path to other readers.
Yeah, this recommendation part I did not think of. I was just more focused on investigating the information search path. But yeah, recommendation will also be a very nice area to pursue on. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
So any other question? Maybe a final question to Nero? Maybe I have a last question to you. I was thinking about kind of recursive path or links. So through those articles, how does this affect your summary? So if you come to a piece of an article where you have been before already, so how does this affect the summary? Does this piece it actually,
yeah. So it actually doesn't affect at all, because I'm extracting text content based on frame by frame. So again, that article's frame will appear and I'll extract the sentences, and based on the article name, I'll combine the frames and then do the processing. So I'm handling this recursive part also. So it will actually not impact in any adverse way the working of the system.